Hey everyone, we are live, and I've lost the pep in my step. 3-0 defeat, an absolute shit show today against Aston Villa. Very, very insipid play, no urgency in our play, and Mahir was not there on Thursday night, but Gary and Tony, we talked about possible upset happening before the international break when we previewed the Premier League section, and lo and behold, it's happened to us. The proverbial banana skin. We slipped on it big time today. Slipped on it big time, and where do we go from here? I'm thinking one of two things. You either open up Pandora's box and start playing some of the younger players who have been impressing in the Europa League. Give them their chance because Willian was absolutely crap out there on the right wing. It's a toss-up between Lacazette and Nketiah. But, you got to bring players like Willock in. Willock was not even in the squad to play today. I understand you're playing in the Europa League. It's a step down from the Premier League. But if a player is impressing in the Europa League, he has to have his chance. Or else, what does a player do every Thursday? He doesn't put the effort in. If you're putting the effort in on a Thursday, you have to come and you have to get into the Premier League squad for Sunday. Ridiculous. The other thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go back to 3 at the back. Play 3-4-3 at the back. Because we have shown we're not good enough to be able to play 4 at the back. Although Gabriel's played well, the understanding between Holding and Gabriel is not there. These days were going to happen to us, but we got to go back to David Luiz, marshalling these two players either side of him, and we got to play with El Neni maybe and Partey in midfield, and we got to build from there. Absolutely ridiculous. I knew a shock was coming in the Premier League, but I didn't think it would come to us. And you have an opportunity. You're in 11th place. You have an opportunity to jump up to 6th. You don't take it. Aston Villa are a good team. They're good defensively. We had been good defensively, but we shipped 3 goals today. Who wants to start off? Who wants to go next? It's a free-for-all. Mahir, go for it.
That was the tabs. Okay, fine.
Did we lose? Is it just me?
Gary, first shout out to you and Tony and Ray. I know that it's very heartbreaking that this thing happened, but I mean, where the fuck was the energy? Where was the energy from last week? Same team. Where was the energy? Like, why do we have to? It's basically called the Arsenal. We pull an Arsenal at the Arsenal almost every second or third game. We can't stay consistent. We can't stay. Man, we go away and we dominate at Old Trafford, dominate, and then guess what? Absolutely everybody was pathetic. Miss Melina, shout out to you. Thank you for joining us. Shout out to everybody. Stephen, Denham. I also don't know whether to laugh or cry. I'd much rather cry. But I don't have the energy, to be honest with you. What a terrible performance from Aubameyang. He deserves no more than a 3 in my play ratings. This is terrible. We should have not sold Martinez. Okay, let's go on to that point. Martinez, Bernd Leno has saved us on countless. He is our number 1. We will back him. Martinez, yes, he came in after a very long time. He performed well for a few games. But let's not forget that Leno has been carrying us for a very, very, very long time. One thing he does need to sort out is his distribution. We got played around like a bobblehead, Pepe looking confused all the time. Gabriel had a good game. To be honest with you, I think absolutely everybody was shocking. Everybody. I don't think there was one player today that I could have said, oh, now he can hold his head up. Honestly, this fucks my week up. Someone will get a slap if they take. Yeah, that's exactly how we feel. But like I say, everybody was shocking. No energy. Shout out to Dave as well, Dave LFC. I got nothing really to say. The chances that we should have taken, we didn't take. We're going to discuss that. I mean, it's just really deflating. We basically pull a Arsenal at the Arsenal. We don't stay consistent. Shout out to Darren as well, FIFA boy Darren.
Yeah.
Hope
Shout
you're
out
well,
to
my
Darren.
bro. Stay strong. We love you very much, eh?
Yeah. Darren, big shout out to you and everyone in the chats as well. Melina, Dave, and Steve also. Yeah, it's been a pretty bad week, but let's keep it in perspective, Darren, and stay strong. We have got your back here, so get in contact anytime you want. The assembled good day panel. Didn't Villa's defense look calm and relaxed like they were on holiday? Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, go to Tony next because he was the second one. I'm letting Gary collect his thoughts there as well. See what he has to say. Tony, take it away.
And besides being after every shit show, Arteta has to give up the rigidity of his squad, let them have freedom. There's no freedom. It's just like a well-drilled machine, like a boss in a video game. You watch what he does, and you counteract, and that's what you have to do to us. It's easy to see what we're doing. We absolutely had no energy, no passion. Being the last game of the week, seeing the results, you should be hungry and driven, and didn't see any of that at all.
Not a great way to head into the international break. Not a great way for Arsenal fans worldwide to finish, football for 2 weeks, Gary. And where do we go from here, Gary?
I don't know, because think about it, we played Manchester United, we came out looking like the most positive team, the attacking team in the game in that first half. So you think, all right, well, we'll look at that tape and we'll come back the next week with the exact same 11 and we'll do the exact same thing, right? Nope. Yeah. They did not come out and look like that at all. Started the same way. It started really bad when, within a minute, they've got a shot in the goal. I mean, yes. If you can't get the first minute down before like the other team has put the ball in the back of the net, then you're coming out, you're not coming out prepared. I like to always say that either you're teaching it or you're letting it happen. So whatever I saw today, I think was being taught. The approach that they were taking on the offensive side, which is where we're lacking, hurt us, and then eventually our defense just broke down. I mean, because we just weren't making the moves going forward. It was painful to watch, I guess. That second half was just really bad, and it never, we made changes, and the changes did absolutely nothing for, to change the game at all. So it's as if we just bought new players in, and we didn't give them any new instructions. Nothing changed. Were we trying to get a point out of this game? It didn't look like it. And most of that is, we'll probably get into it, but I saw some, comments about Aubameyang having a bad day. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. He put 2 crosses on a plate for 2 players that have to be able to make that shot. Put it in between the sticks. Put it on frame. Make the goalie have to work.
Make the goalkeeper work. That's what
goalie didn't
everybody
have to work
says.
on any. Yeah, goalie didn't have to work on any of those shots. There's no Emi Leno comparison when the goalie on the other side doesn't even barely ever has to get his hand stung by a shot. We're lucky it was 3-0. It could have been 5-6. Samayo saved one. The offsides. I think it's interference. Caused one, saved one, and then Leno did make a stop on the small side of the on the goal. So there's 3 goals right there that could have on any other day could have gone in. Yeah, it was disappointing, and now we, like you said, now we have 2 weeks to just sit around and think about, are we going to do something different, something better? Some players are going to go away. Partey hopefully does not travel. If he comes out lame in this game, there's no reason for him to go anywhere for 2 weeks. Right?
James, thanks for joining us. And, He's sorry for the loss today. Villa were a class, to be fair. Hope all of your families are safe and well. And that's the most important thing in this day and age. We want our team to win, of course. Tony, there's plenty of divs around my area. So Stephen, keep telling you guys Arteta is worse than Emery. I'm still going to reserve judgment on that. We have to give him the benefit of a full season and see what happens. Norma, thanks for joining us once again. Laka, why we kept him, Tony? Lacazette missing opportunities, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard on Lacazette because he is getting opportunities that he's not putting away in that header over the bar. As Gary said, you got to
That
get
should
those
be a goal.
You got to get them on target and at least work the goalkeeper. Emi Martinez came back. It was the dream game for him. He had everything solid in front of him. The players, and we're going to talk about it. Aston Villa players worked themselves to the bones. They worked tooth and nail to get that result. It was niggly stuff going on out there. They were frustrating our players, but our players have to be above that. You play better. You frustrate Aston Villa. Don't let them frustrate you. Ole Watkins makes him look like Morata when he was in Chelsea. Molina said, I'm starting to see and question him more and more. Emery at least got us some wine. Yeah. The starting 11 looked like the replica AliExpress version of last week's lineup against Man United. But Mahir, as Gary said, we got that scare in the first minute. That should have been our wake-up call, Mahir.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Come on, Tony, say it as it is. Like, kinda, don't hold back. It was a shit show. Like, seriously, I thought, okay, even if they're going to give that goal and we're going to go a goal down within the first minute, Gary, you know what I thought to myself? Why don't we just pick up the pace? Pick up the pace. There's your wake-up call. One goal already in, pick it up. Everybody is on job from now. If we go 1-0 down. But it was lethargic, slow, back to the same players doing the same thing. Mohammed became the normal Mohammed El sideways as per usual. And like, I was not expecting such a performance from last week. Because I've already seen headlines now. I was just on YouTube now before going on, and it already says Banta FC is back. I mean, dude, do you know they might be grilling me tomorrow. They might be grilling me.
Mayer, what we've done is undone all of the good work that we did up at Old Trafford. We didn't follow up a very, very good result against the Manchester United team. We don't know what Manchester United are like. We're going to see what they're like at the end of the season. Are they good? Are they bad? They blow hot. They blow cold. We went up there. We put in a performance. We got the win. And it was imperative that the players come back home and play this game and win and follow up on what we did last weekend.
But Ray, for fuck's sakes, I'm sorry my language, but for fuck's sakes, would you allow somebody to come into your house and disrespect you like that? No. Exactly my point. If somebody came and disrespected him, my home like that, I'm sure all my family members are ganging on this guy and we're getting him really knocked up. I'm talking baseball bats. I'm talking knuckle dusters. We just came and allowed. They were class, yes, but it's so disrespectful. Like, dude.
So, Tony, we have seen this. Leicester City came in, put in a similar performance now. Aston Villa obviously lit us up a little bit. But Leicester City, they're street smart. They know how to win games. They know how to go into a tough environment. We don't even have crowds, and that's no excuse for Arsenal. Every team is playing without crowds. You need to generate your own pressure and atmosphere within the game. But Leicester City came and did a job. Aston Villa came and done a professional job on us as well, Tony.
Yeah, we showed up with no energy. I think that's the main problem. Just no energy, no tempo, no free flow in football. Just everything's drilled in. This is what you should do, and You can't vary on that. I think Arteta has way too far of a rigid system. He said not having fans hurts us, but I don't see how that matters when nobody has fans. You need to come out and play with full energy and bust your ass and try to get the 3 points.
Yeah, when you don't have fans at the stadium, it comes on each player and what's in there. It comes within, Gary, what they have, the desire has to be molded into a team ethic.
Yeah, I mean those excuses. He just didn't do a good job. I mean, he didn't do a good job. His job is to get the most out of his players. He didn't today. He didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Yeah.
I mean, we can we want to keep Arteta, yes, but he didn't do a good job today. He took what we did over the last 2 games, and we didn't improve any from it at all. There's not one improvement we made from last. I always tell you, game to game, I like to see little improvements.
Yeah.
We didn't improve this week. We went back a lot. Our defense wasn't solid. Our offense, our transition up to the middle, as a struggle as it is, was really not there. Even though I do believe that we actually produced the chances that we needed to. So I feel like this could have been a 3-3 game. I'm going to look at it that way because I do believe we missed many chances today. Many. You
If
get
you're
3
giving
chances.
Arsenal 3,
get at
I'm
least-
giving Aston Villa 5.
One exactly. So maybe that's what it is. But we didn't. You can't win. You can't win a game scoring no goals. It's never happened in the history of soccer.
Yeah, it's unheard
Right?
of.
It's it's like when I tell the kids when they're playing defense. Worst case scenario, kick the ball out of bounds. Guess what? Nobody's ever scored from out of bounds. It never happened. It won't ever happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can't win a game not putting the ball in the net, right? That's got to be. And you have players that's their only job, right? We saw multiple crosses. I saw 3 crosses from Aubameyang. I saw 1 from Tierney, all in good positions for whoever was on the end of those balls. All 4 times we didn't. The goalie didn't even. The goalie just watched the ball go over his head.
And Bellerin had an opportunity when he had the ball at his
Bellerin
feet.
doesn't
Gary?
even take a shot. He does all that work. He's standing there 5 feet from the goalie and the goal, nobody else in front of him, and he doesn't shoot.
And he's trying to find the player.
What is
when
he
he's
trying?
5 yards
What are
away.
you doing?
Just put your laces through the fucking ball, man.
I mean, come on. No, I mean, think about this. When we were all little kids, when you got anywhere near the goal, what were you doing? What was your only
You're going to
thought?
take a shot immediately.
Exactly. We've got a team of players that don't want to shoot the ball. They want to pass it for an easy shot. No, the easy shot is right there. Take it.
Yeah. And what we have at Liverpool, and they have fullbacks who are not afraid to shoot. Robertson will score goals. Trent Alexander-Arnold will do the same. Abdiaziz said, I told these guys everything changed after we came back from lockdown. The signs were there, but people just ignored it. I called out Emery, how bad he was the day he was signed as an Arsenal manager. They said I was deluded. And again, I personally am going to reserve judgment till the end of the season. On
I mean, I
Arteta.
can't say Arteta is bad yet. I mean, he hasn't even coached a year.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to say, if you're going to say he's not good after only coaching for 2/3 of a season, then I guess that's your decision. But you got to. He's done a lot with what he's had, and we all know that a lot of the players aren't what he wants. 1, what we want. 2, and what are good, for a team that is expecting to challenge. I mean, they're just not right. I mean, we've got like 10 players that can't play, or we said you won't play, right?
Mullane said some of the players seriously lack creativity. I'm thinking Willian to start with, and I know there was another player in midfield, that I was thinking about as well. Some of these players do not wear Arsenal on their sleeve, and it shows. Today's game makes me question. Lumber Camp, thanks for joining us. Arteta's got no balls. How are you going to play like Stoke against every team in Europe? And, we have the players. It just didn't come into the team. And creativity's got to be looked at now as well, because we've kind of ignored this. My personal point of view of how Arteta was transforming this team, or his plan was play three at the back until we got out of these 10 games. And this Aston Villa game, Wolves coming up, are a couple of the other last 10 games. Then things would get slightly easier. But I'm starting to worry now. But we cannot play four at the back. We have to play three at the back. And whereas looking at David Luiz sitting on the bench and Granit Xhaka sitting on the bench, thinking that's the way forward. At least looks like we got to bring back David Luiz now. December said panel. Was it the tactics or the players? A little bit of each, right, Tony?
Yep. Half each.
Like I'm trying to say, I think four at the back is not sustainable for us. We are not able to work with that yet. But the players, it has to be there as well, Gary, right?
Yeah. How many times have we played four at the back?
A couple.
In consecutive games.
Maybe twice.
3.
Is that the future of where we're going to go?
Hope not.
It has to be.
No. But no, I think a lot of people believe that four at the back is what Arteta wants. So if that's what he wants, and that's what he's trying to get to, and that's what he plays when he plays, I believe when we're playing in the Europa League, I believe that's what we're playing, right? I believe we're playing four at the back there.
Yeah.
And so if that's his goal, how is he going to get there?
Because we have to get there by being defensively sound, by developing a partnership between Gabriel and Holding, if it's going to be Holding, and for the fullbacks to be a bit more defensively aware as well.
So if that's the case, then you can't play one game, it doesn't work, and then drop it. I mean, the same way. I mean, I've heard this many times today. The reason why William was allowed to play so that he could figure out what's going on and get himself back into form. All right, we're playing a new formation, and doesn't seem like it's working. We know we have the players for it. Either we're going to give it a chance or we're going to blow it up and go back to the 3-4-3. I mean, like I said, at the beginning of this whole thing, I said 3-4-3. We know how to play that. Let's just play it and try to get the most out of it, right? Yeah. But if he's going to change it, that means he thinks he can't do that anymore, right? He can't put three. He can't do that anymore. That's what he's thinking. So
his thinking, I think, Gary, is he's been playing three at the back, and we've been defensively solid with three at the back. Now he obviously needs to score more goals. We've only scored 9 goals in 8 games. Obviously not enough, right? But I want to give a quick shout out to London Old School. We have not seen you in a long, long time, London Old School. And I'm not chastising you. I'm just happy that you are well and you are safe. It's always good to see people coming back here. Yeah, Gary. Go ahead, Gary.
I will also say that, Villa played a good game today. They did. Yeah. They had a plan. They stuck to it. We knew going in what they were going to do, and they did exactly that. All right, they did exactly that. They were pretty stout in the middle. Grealish had a good day. Watkins came on late when things kind of broke down for us. But it started from the whistle. I mean, We weren't prepared for whatever that plan was. We weren't prepared once the whistle blew and that first kick was made. And from then on, we were playing catch up the whole time.
Yeah, and we're going to get into that blow by blow here. But Abdi Aziz said he continues to pick players because they work hard. We are Arsenal. We should be picking players for how good they are technically. Goes back to probably the transfer window. Should we get an hour or should we get a Partey? And you know what you're getting with each of those players. If you get an hour, you have a little bit more creativity, but you're not as secure in midfield. And I actually think we did the right thing in getting Thomas Partey.
I'm sorry, but every time I hear creativity, I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm looking at the stats right now. We had 10 shots. 2 of them were on target. 8 of them were off target. Yep. What more do you want in a game? They had 2 more shots than us in this game. 2 more.
Yeah,
the creativity. We are getting the ball in spaces. We are getting the ball with opportunities, with good scoring chances. We didn't put them away. That can't be bad creativity when you have that in a game. This game is probably no different than the Man U game. The only problem is Man U's worse than the way the Villa played today. Right? Man U didn't get 10 shots in the last game, I believe. Right? And if they did, it was only in the second half when they were pushing it. But this game and the last two games, as far as Arsenal, the way they played, no different. All right.
If you're looking at stats, Gary, they had less opportunities than us, but they had better opportunities than us. They had more clear-cut opportunities than us.
Okay. We had four shots. We had a header by Aubameyang. We had a header by Laka. That's supposed to be a goal. You had a Holding got a shot, right? That came in. He's got to be able to put that on goal, right? Be a goal. Yep. Right. Rob Holding, you had two William crosses that he did nothing with them, nothing, and he's supposed to be able to handle those types of opportunities.
Sorry, I know that one was a very difficult one. I think he tried to place the ball down. It was on a half volley. I'm not quite sure about the other what other one.
The other one was before the Holding cross because Aubameyang crossed it over, and then it looked like it was going to go to I forget who, Laka or Eddie. I can't remember who it was in the middle there, and then it came out and William was there. And once again, nothing. And then later on, Aubameyang was on the left side. Pat crossed it in to Holding, and then that went awry. Laka's header has got to be a goal.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. So that's at least one very, very. You put a striker in front of the goal with the ball right at head height. He's got to put it. He's got to make the goalie play it. The goalie watched it go over his head. That's it. That's one of your key jobs in the middle there is to be able to do that. I mean, I don't know if Aubameyang could have done it, but I'm just saying that's what he's supposed to do, right?
Things.
Yeah.
He
sorry,
didn't.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you noticed. Laka didn't even get off the ground for that. Even the commentator was saying if Laka had to jump, if Laka had to just lift himself just a little bit, he would have been able to put it in the back of the net easily. And the second thing is, Laka's just not clinical. He's just not doing it, unfortunately. We were supposed to have Aubameyang central today, to be honest with you. We discussed lineups and we said, put Aubameyang up front, let Pepe get his consistency, play him on the right-hand side if you see William is doing nothing. So like today, we could have taken William off first half, right? And then immediately when the second half, put Pepe on. You see William's not doing absolutely bugger all.
William did nothing in the first half, and you bring on Ceballos for Partey. Partey got a knock. I noticed that he got a knock around the 30th minute. Lumber Camp is saying strap in for a 30-year wait for the title. We're going to give Liverpool a run for the money, and just in case anyone knows, that's going to be 2034. 2034. We're going to give Liverpool a run. I hope you're wrong, Lumber Camp.
Otherwise, our kids are going to be running. They're going to be running Arsenal fan circles. So you'll get Gary Jr. You'll get Rocky Jr. shouting again at the screen.
Another 14 years. Yeah.
Oh my days!
Even Tony's pet dog agrees that this is one of the worst games so far because tactics all wrong and level of play. Arsenal in its lifetime will never be 4-3-3 team or high pressure team. Our identity has always been free flowing 4-2-3-1 and 4-4-2. Well, you mentioned 4-4-2, Abdiaziz. So I'm going to put it to the panel here. Since we cannot create enough going forward, should we play 3 at the back with 2 wing backs and 3 in midfield with some creativity thrown in there in those 3 and play just 2 up front in Aubameyang and Pepe?
Sorry, they played 3-4-4 today, eh?
I thought you guys were upset with the 4 at the back today. Wasn't that what everybody was upset about?
Yeah. So now
why would you want to even? I mean, I think we can do whatever we want. I think we can do. You want 3 in the back?
3 at the back.
Okay.
But it was 3 at the back, 3-4-4.
He kept changing.
Because
Oh.
of Saka, he keeps going in and out, and this is what is confusing.
Miller
things
kept
a little
dropping
bit.
back to be with.
Okay.
I want to put creativity into midfield.
We don't have any though. Who is the creativity? What you're talking about?
With Joe Willock at least. Somebody who will run into the box and break the lines, Gary. Someone who will get on the end of things and draw defenders away from Aubameyang and away from Lacazette and away from who should be on the field, Pepe, because Willian is not getting it done. What teams are doing right now? They're starting to isolate Aubameyang on the left. They're blocking off our main threat, Aubameyang.
You know what? There was actually one point. Sorry, there was actually one point there where I was watching it, and Tierney got the ball out wide on the left. Aubameyang was right there, kind of, in front of him for a little while, and then for some reason he just ran behind Tierney. Meanwhile, I saw Saka coming through the middle, which I guess maybe it was the part of the plan because of the way things work. But Aubameyang is supposed to be the one coming through the middle like that. I mean, especially at that point in time, it's just, I don't know what, we don't know what's being instructed of the players.
Yeah.
So, but that's what I saw. That's what we see. So you assume that's what they're asking. And having Aubameyang keep running to the outside when the ball's on the outside doesn't make any sense to me.
So let's get through a few more comments, and then I'm going to propose further my formation. It's not 4 at the back, Gary. So it's going to be 3 at the back, 3 at the back with 2 wing backs, right?
Okay.
And 3 in midfield with two defensive midfielders and 1 creative midfielder. Be it Willock, be it Emile Smith-Rowe. It could even be William playing centrally. And then have Aubameyang and Pepe up front. What do you think? No?
Who's up top? Sorry.
Aubameyang and Pepe. It could be Aubameyang and Nketiah.
I feel like I want Pepe out there. I'm going to have that.
Yeah. But something's got to happen. Something's got to happen. We can't play 3 up front anymore.
Yeah.
Because we're.
Yeah, and that's what's disappointing is that Pepe, for all the potential that we see in there, is just. I don't think he is getting any confidence from the coach, from the manager, in the sense that he can't. He's coming in spot duty, and when he comes out, it doesn't look like. They've talked about anything that he did in the last game that he needs to work on. It just seems like he goes out there kind of like clueless as to what needs to be done. And you know what? At some point, maybe Willock should get a chance. He's not showing that he can do it. I mean, if you're going to compare how some of the first teamers played in the Europa League, Willock has played better than all of the first timers that went in there, right, to play.
Yeah.
That were, as far as on the offensive side. I mean, he looked the best. And if those are side by side comparisons, then why wouldn't it be any different going into the Premier League? You're playing against lesser talent and you don't look good. So then, what's the difference when somebody who is actually playing good against that lesser talent? Why don't they get a chance?
It really doesn't. Engender confidence or competition in the squad. If you have a player, as I said already, I repeat myself, playing well on a Thursday night, why can't Arteta bring them into the squad on a Sunday, and show that if you're playing well on a Thursday night, you're going to get onto a Premier League team on a Sunday, Tony. And Tony, Abdi has said, why does he need 1 more year? The signs are right in front of you. We need to at least give him 1 full season to show what he can do.
Well, nobody wanted to give Emery a full season. We're in 3rd in October last year, and everybody was wanting him sacked. Now we're further back than that.
I mean, I think a little bit of that is also the management above them is different too. If we had the same if Arteta had the same management ahead of him, maybe he would be gone by now. Arteta has a different management scheme ahead of him, right? I mean, I don't know if it's for the better yet. We don't know because it's only just happened over the last couple of months. But I think the management scheme and process is totally different. So what happened before and what's happening now with the management and the coaching, I think, is a little different. So it's hard to tell. You know, that's why things are different, right? I think things are different because of that. I think they're still learning what they want to do, and they've changed, the management at least 2 or 3 times, by letting people go and stuff like that, and move and giving people promotions and whatnot over the last number of months. So there's no stability right now with the management. So all of that, I agree, things are totally different, but I think things have changed with the management style. So why wouldn't how they handle it work as well? I mean, Arteta is new, so you're gonna have to, if you're gonna bring him in, you can't just let him go 6 months later. That makes no sense. You should have just gone and got
all over again.
You should have got him a seasoned manager if that's the case. But if you've already got him, you have no choice. Why would there's no rush right now. I don't think anybody thought we were finishing top 4 and challenging for the title, as much. So
top 4. That was my expectation this season. It still is. We need to at least compete for top 4. If he doesn't get it, if he fails by 5th or 6th place, no, he doesn't get sacked from me. As long as I can see some kind of progression from one season to the next. Gary will say we want to see improvement game to game, and that's true. But we also want to see improvement season on season. Number of Cam, it's because our fan base makes excuses for how bad we are at run as a club. That's why we don't behave like a big club. I think you have fans from every team are gonna you're gonna hear them when you don't get the results. When the results don't come, you're gonna hear these kind of things. Miss Molina, I agree. Arteta needs to get more out of this team. Attacking wise, we have a good forward line. It's hard to understand why they're not getting goals with the quality we have. It's frustrating. Mahir, we're not getting goals because we don't have players who can connect midfield to our strikers, right?
Yes, that is 100% correct. What the players, I'd love to get excited. Partey was one piece of a puzzle. Yes, we wanted to get Awar also. Awar is going to be very expensive, or Leon may need to sell, actually, from what I heard. But can I give you guys a few links? We've been linked to Dominic Szoboszlai, a young attacking midfielder from RB Salzburg or RB Leipzig, one of the two.
Salzburg.
And Salzburg, there we go. Yep. So either one of the two, in order to bring the attacking creativity back into the team. But as Gary said, and as Tony knows, we are getting chances to score. We are getting goal opportunities. We're just not taking it. Lacazette is not clinical enough. We may need to just get rid of Lacazette, maybe to bring in a younger striker such as Edouard from Celtic, for example, and maybe bring in Dominic Szoboszlai is a very big possibility, or even Awar if Lyon must sell, because that, from what I'm being told, they need to sell, which means they could drop their price to same price, maybe about 30, 40, and then you bring in a quality player. But like I say, our strikers are just not clinical enough. I needed Aubameyang up front today, Saka on the left-hand side, Pepe on the right-hand side, and you would have seen a bit more of a threat. I mean, even at halftime, take off Willian. He's doing absolutely bugger all. He's doing fuck all. So take him off and put Pepe there and let Pepe figure things out. Bring on a spark of energy.
The Revenant said even the champions get battered by Villa. So London Old School's been lying low. Good for you, London Old School. Just check in with us once in a while. We do care about everyone who watches. on the channel. We want everyone to be safe. Look who's here, my pal John. Tonight's game was terrible. Yeah, you guys, we didn't show up, Tony. We did not show up today. That's really the most frustrating thing is you want to show up and at least have some heart there. And as I mentioned, Aston Villa were the ones who were niggling at us, and we were not doing that to them.
Yeah, we started break a day early. Everybody was on holiday. Really, nobody performed very good at all. Thought Party was the only one decent in the first half, and he went down after he got hurt, like you said, about the 30th minute.
Alonso, thanks for joining us. And Aston Villa fan, you're welcome here. How easy was that tonight? Pretty easy. Let's have a word quickly, Gary. Aston Villa, we got to give them props. We have helped them, right?
Well, I don't know if we helped them, but they had a really good game plan. They went to their strengths, and their strengths are what hurt us, right? I mean, they love from what I can see, they like their attack, and they attacked really well. As soon first minute of the game, they were attacking. I mean, Laka's running with his man. Next thing you know, he lays off of him, and he gets a shot off and in goal, right? I mean. Yeah. That never happens to Laka when he's got the ball, right? He's got the ball. Nobody leaves him alone for some reason. So, I don't know. I didn't get that, right? And then the game went quiet, right? I always tell you about when the game goes quiet. And it went quiet for about 20 minutes or so, 20, 30 minutes in that first half. We had opportunities. And when I say it goes quiet, it's mostly we maybe had a lot of possession of the ball as far as taking over, get a little bit more control as things slow down. We weren't able to do anything, and then as it gets quiet, the next thing you know, the other team gets an opportunity. Starts to feel, well, you know what? If they're not going to take it, then maybe we should. And that's kind of eventually what happened in this game. The players that were going to hurt us, I think, hurt us. I mean, you had Grealish running around, just doing everything he needed to do, putting balls in. You had Ollie Watkins, he get in the middle in there, attacking our back line. It just they did what they came with a good plan, and it worked. We weren't able to stop them, and we've been able to stop most teams, right? I mean, today, like in the Liverpool game, I felt like there were things that we could we did. We made some mistakes. Today, I feel like they whatever their plan was, it was working today, and we just had no answer for it. Like, it's hard for me to sometimes look at some of how it all worked out. That how do we not make stops on some of these plays? I personally think it would have been a higher scoring game. Yes, maybe we lose by more, but maybe we don't because we score. I think when you're holding on, when you're behind and you get shot and they score and then they score again and they score again, you can see how the game can get away from you. But if you're holding on to a 1-1 game or a 2-1 game, and you've had opportunities to score, I feel like the game will go a little differently, and maybe you don't get blown out, 6-3. I mean, I feel like that also plays into it. But we're not putting the ball in the net, right? You don't put the ball in the net. How do you, as a defense, even feel like this game I can keep us in the game? Because they're not doing anything on the other end, right? I'm keeping them out of our goal. They're not putting any shots on goal over there. It's a team thing, team sport at some point, and you don't, in the back of your mind, you may not, in the front, you may not say it, but in the back of your mind, you're like, God, we're thrashing here, just trying to defend for what? Because we're not putting the ball in the goal on the other side. We're not attacking on the other side. We're blocking shots here. They're not blocking any shots, right? That kind of thing is going on.
Shout out to Daniel Goals. Thanks for joining us. Arteta is becoming as stubborn as Wenger with his decisions. Re Pepe. Tony, seems to me we look at this overall, and Arteta's going to live and die by a couple of decisions he made this season. We have to talk about the goalkeeper situation because we played Emi Martinez. That's one decision that was made this season. I know Emi Martinez wanted to play, and you don't technically say you're going to guarantee a starting position to any player. The second thing was getting Willian, and those are two things that are not really working for us this season.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have a choice on Martinez. It's either give him a huge pay raise and promise him starting time, which we weren't going to do. So we pretty much had to sell him, in my eyes, because he wanted first team football. And Williams, just a horrible decision, especially when his total cost is going to be somewhere around £32 million. It's
And look,
high.
that's how, for me, that's how the club wanted to spend their money this season. But if you're looking at Willian and telling me he's performing well week in, week out, and he's able to keep Pepe off the field, that's not true. In my opinion, that's not true. You can't tell me that Pepe would have a worse game out there than Willian did today.
Yeah, Arteta's just really rigid with his lineups. He's got the players he likes, and he just doesn't seem to want to experiment at all. Like last season, Willock was getting all kinds of starts, hasn't played one single minute early this year.
And Gary Alonso is saying he doesn't understand why we can beat Man United. I think he just mentioned it a little bit ago there. The game kind of gets away from us. We got that wake-up call. We conceded a goal after 1 minute. We're lucky to have that chalked off. That should have been the wake-up call to the whole team. Bells should have been ringing. And then we were kind of languid on our right side for the first Villa goal on the 25th minute, which is an own goal from Saka.
Yeah, I mean, it's the team mojo, or the team, how the team reacts to certain things. And we, like you said, we as a team, that shot, I guess, did not wake anybody up because we didn't figure out, you know what, we're going to have to get this ball in the goal somehow. We didn't, there was no urgency there from us trying to get a goal after that point in time. And I mean, when I say urgency, I mean, all right, I got this cross coming in. I'm going to get it on goal. I'm going to make the goalie make it, those types of urgency that I'm looking for out of the players. The ball's flying at me. I'm going to have to volley it. I'm going to put all my intention into making sure I get a proper volley on this ball, right? Those types of things. That's the urgency that I'm looking for when we're trying to score. I mean, we saw it. We see it on the defensive end. Like when we want to sometimes buckle down and stop a goal, we'll get down on the ground and make blocks. Make the strong hold up plays and all of that to get the players, out of there.
Yeah.
But on the offensive side, we don't do that.
No. Lumbercam, you got me on this comment here. Gary, how did you feel about coming on the podcast after a 3-0 defeat like this? I can tell you, I was like, can we just not do this? I don't feel like coming on and talking about a defeat, but you kind of have to. This is kind of the deal we have. We come every week and we come on. Lumbercam said, big up, lads. I don't know how you stay so calm. Thanks for the therapy. How are you feeling, Gary, after this defeat?
Well, like you said, I can't go crazy because I could go full negative just like anybody else can. But then also I need to be constructive in what I'm saying because I want to see, we all want to see us get better, and so there's got to be some light at the end of the tunnel for what we're seeing today. It's hard, like anybody said, it's hard to pick any positives out of what we saw today, as only that, we don't want to do this again, right? We don't want to come out like this. We don't want to miss our chances. We don't want to give up these chances to other teams. We want to play a little bit solid on the back. We didn't play solid at the back today, and I think that I saw a comment about, how we played against Man U and how we played against Villa. I think this season's a lot of ups and downs. Villa came out lights blazing, right? They looked really good. And in the last 2 games, they score, they gave up 7 goals. And then today, nothing, right? Man U has a struggle, loses 2 games in a row, comes out and looks okay. All he's saved for another month or whatever, right? So I feel like this season's going to be a lot of ups and downs. Like a lot of teams, their good play are 3 goals. Our good plays right now seem to be 0 goals against. It's no, as far as our shooting, that's a work in progress.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to my here with the same thing, and I don't want to be the I don't want to have a situation like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is having. You win 2 games, oh he's doing well, and you get hope. Then you lose 2 games, and it's like Ole is going to get sacked if he doesn't win his next set of 2 games. But my here, I sort of told Lumber Camp how we were feeling individually before we came on the podcast. How are you feeling just before you came on?
Just before I came on, I was feeling heartbroken. Seriously, heartbroken. Because, even if you, Gary and Tony, I'm sure you guys will agree. And Lundberg Camp, I'd love to hear from you guys as well. Be assembled, everybody in the chat. But, even if you lose to anybody, it can be a big team, can be a small team, especially how unpredictable the league is right now. But the thing you do is you show passion. So you can hold your head up high and at least say, I gave it my everything. I gave it absolutely everything. There are blood in my boots.
Hmm
200,000 for William Dam Alonso. Um, you can at least hold your head up high and say, guys, I don't think there was. Do you guys think of any players today that can hold their head up high just for a little bit and say, I gave it everything? It just, they outclassed us. I gave it my all. There's no players. There was no players today.
No,
They
I
can
mean
help.
today, yeah,
Everybody was poor.
yeah, no, yeah. The 11 as a whole, we didn't play well, and we stood out enough to warrant even the man of the match to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I feel like Aubameyang put enough crosses in to warrant being on the wing, even though I don't want him there.
I also don't want
Right?
to.
I don't want him there, but he put in efforts there. I understand they're not I don't know what is he supposed to do. We're saying that they're not perfect opportunities, but I believe they were. What is a perfect opportunity? I mean, they put a cross in, and Oli Watkins put it in, right between 2 defenders. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yep.
ours
He
weren't
was
even that
bullying all our
challenging,
defenders.
right?
He was bullying all our defenders. Ollie Watkins, of all
Lombard
strikers.
Camp, William, Lacazette, Kolasinac, Mustafi all need to get lost. Useless bastards getting paid a fortune.
Tell us how you feel. I don't get it. What do you mean?
Feel like Lombard Camp's holding back a little bit. We need to see some real changes in our attacking setup now. Doing the same thing and hoping for What is Gary? What is doing the same thing and hoping for a different result? What is the definition of
Some might say Arteta ball,
Arteta
but in the
ball?
dictionary it says insane.
Insanity.
Insanity. So whichever one you
Oh.
want, I mean,
Insanity.
like I said, if we took what we learned in the last game, used the same players, and then we improved it somewhat, do we get a 3-0 loss? I don't think so. So what happened, right? Yeah. Something happened between this game and that last one where we used the same players and we looked worse, right?
Yeah.
Were they told too much stuff to worry about and then they couldn't do anything? Were they told nothing? So they just thought they did okay and they didn't improve at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
I see Stan's in the chat there. Hello, Stan. So
Well, Gary is a sneaky devil. He's in every Arsenal podcast chat. But this is his home. This is his HQ.
This is his home. Right here. Record that.
Right here.
I love it here. Yes.
We're gonna announce permanent members of the podcast, and you see 4 of them right here, and we're going to be adding a few more as well. So we want everyone to get familiar with our characters, what we hate, what we like. Gary hates not progressing every game. Well, Arsenal's not your team, but Arsenal is your team, Gary. Well, yeah, this is our humble abode, and we keep coming back. And Gary is he keeps himself active, but he always comes home. Villa know how to play the big boys. Yeah, Villa they have added a few pieces to their team. They got a goalkeeper, and they've added a few pieces. They got Ross Barkley. He didn't have a leg to stand on. Yeah, and he's from your homeland, isn't he, Mahir?
That
Oscar.
was the biggest. That was the biggest case of. I don't know if it's fraudulence or whatever the case was, but like he was a prominent athlete. Found out he shot his wife, mistaking her for a thief or something, but it was on the second floor of a. There was nobody else in the bathroom, or he went to the window. It was ridiculous. You guys must watch that though. It is interesting, his trial, but very, very sad circumstances that everything fell under, and the leg jokes. I mean, I don't know if it's insensitive or if it is a little bit funny or whatever the case may be, but yeah.
Well, I was going to say that it's it's a little different because over here we had a similar thing, and the person actually wrote a book. If I did it, so take what you will of this thing, right? So you have
something along those lines.
So you have craziness going on all around. So
all around, definitely.
Yep.
Oh boy, I half expected Arsenal to do this after Man United. Everyone's upbeat, positive, and you can guarantee Arsenal will find a way to let us down. Nice one, Stephen.
You know what? In the back of our minds, I think it's always there. We try to, just like push it down, like no.
Exactly.
The same players are not putting the ball in the net over and over again, and our players who should be doing that is played out left, where he can hardly get a chance. We need to see changes now. Again, I think Aubameyang, if he's our better player, he needs to have that license to be able to float inside or out on the left. I want to see a little bit more fluidity in our attack. Another reason, maybe just by happenstance, that we should go two up top, Pepe and Aubameyang. And, we need to change things up a little bit because it is not working. Willian is proof that we're below Chelsea in the pecking order. Stan is here. Today was a backward step.
Stan.
For sure.
Sorry, bro.
For sure. I mean, Tony, 4 losses and 4 wins after 8 games. We lose away to Liverpool and City. We lose away to both of those teams. We can make excuses. We can make, we can understand how that might happen. But then to lose consecutive home games against Leicester City, we know Tim Cahill has told us we know how we lost that game. But today against Aston Villa was just not good enough.
Yeah, most of the games really haven't been good enough. We should have got more points than we had. Should at least had a few draws in there, but definitely should have been some more wins in there too. Just I think Arteta is way too rigid with his lineup. Won't give players chances. Favors players too much. Playing Willian week in and week out in the Premier League, it's proven it doesn't work. It's time to change. I don't know why you have to react 4 or 5, 6 games later after you can see something isn't working. Just go ahead and change it.
Yeah, as Gary, as Stan said, we weren't in the game from the first minute. We had a wake-up call after 46 seconds. So I shot the player that got into the box through Lacazette, but I also thought Bellerin was lackadaisy about it as well. Just throwing a leg, and before that, not really marking out there on the wing. The ball comes to McGinn, and it's a goal. But we were lucky it was chalked off through VAR.
You're on mute.
Is he on mute? You're not on mute, but your connection, you maybe not connected up.
Oh, I don't know what's happening.
There you go.
There
You can hear me now? Okay, sorry about that. I don't know. I'm going to say that's on the internet. So, no, I was going to say that.
For the internet. Internet one, Gary, no.
Exactly. I am losing again. I was going to say Laka could have continued on with his run with the player, but like you said, the defenders all kind of stood there and watched somebody come freely into their box without challenging him. and the pass came out, and then voila, that's what happens. I mean, you have to see who's coming in and out of your box, or else you're not a good defender, right? So
yeah, the refs. What I liked was this weekend the refs started to look at the pitch side monitors. It didn't help us in the end, but they started to look at the pitch side monitors, and maybe that's something to look forward to. Andy Townsend, who was commentating on the feed that I was watching, said Leno would never have saved that, but he didn't even have a chance to see it, so we don't know, Andy Townsend. And then Mayer in the 6th minute, we had testament to the conditions, maybe what will be known as a Tierney meme. He sort of slipped a little bit on the ground, which is quite funny.
Yeah, it looked like he tried to do a little bit too much. It looks like he tried to stop the ball and maybe tried to do a skill. But you basically, here in South Africa, there's a meme going around where we say, have you ever seen these players that showboat but basically end up skilling themselves and doing nothing?
Yeah. There was a couple of things from Tierney. He did another one in the first half, of the latter part of the first half as well. 25th minute, Gary, we lose the goal to what turns out to be in the end a Saka own goal. Saka's one step behind Trezeguet and not able to get a defender's touch out for a corner.
Yeah.
But we were kind of mesmerized by passive. We were too passive there. Watching the player hold the ball.
Yeah, no, that's the first thing I saw on that play is Holding and Saka both had men there, and they should have been manning up on them. And then for some reason, they both let those men get a run on them. And so Saka has to recover, and in his recovery, he got his foot down and, basically put the ball. I think it was going in anyways. If he doesn't tap it, it's going to go in anyways because that's the offensive player is right there. But I think he felt like this is what happens to me. This is what I feel happens a lot. We fall asleep at the wheel. We're driving along. We're doing our defense the way we can, and then we kind of get tired, and it's kind of like, and then we wake up, and it's too late. That's exactly what happened today with that goal.
And it's not good enough because I think you can't play with 100. You should play with 100% commitment, but it's just not reality. And some players turned up to work today and expected the other players to pull the load, and it didn't happen today. Stan said was like a carbon copy of the Leicester game. Those are games we should have got all 3 points. Totally undoes the work we did at Old Trafford, and the wins that we do have makes for kind of painful reading. We've beaten Fulham away from home 3-0 on the opening day of the season. We followed that up with a very, very tough 2-1 win over West Ham, and these are teams that you should be beating. West Ham have performed quite well against the bigger teams. Looked like something was sparking. I know Gary and Tony were watching the Sheffield United game where we won that one in about 5 minutes through 2 goals from Saka and Pepe. Not a great performance, but we beat Sheffield United. And then we go away to Manchester United, very, very hopeful after a 1-0 win up at Old Trafford that we've turned the tide a little bit. But as Tony has said, Arteta is not ready yet to open things up a little bit more. And that's the frustrating part of things here. Mahir, so we finished the half with a couple of things. Aubameyang plays Saka in. Saka's cross is kind of flicked or parried by Emi Martinez, and it ends up with a Partey shot. Something that looked kind of dangerous ends up in something that wasn't too dangerous. And Aston Villa are playing us quite well. They're keeping us at a distance like we're trying to punch, but they're keeping us at an arm's length.
Yeah, man. I'm not with it tonight, guys. I'm sorry. Darren, we're fully behind you all the way, bro. Whatever you feel, however you feel, we'll always be here for you.
Mm-hmm.
So just know that. Just know that you're irreplaceable with us. We are part of your family. You are part of our family. Don't forget that.
Yep. Kick back, Darren. It's all good.
Yeah. Just relax. I'm starting to get sick of Arsenal, man. Lundberg camp. Yes, it is very good to see Darren still here with us, and he will be here with us
Always.
for a very long time. San, Greenwood, shout out to you as well. Guys, it's just that we're not clinical enough. We're not clinical enough. Can I ask you guys a question? I'd like to ask everybody: is Laka good enough for Arsenal?
No.
No.
No, I mean, I always thought that we needed money to, upgrade the team and
More windows.
improve the squad, and I thought, selling Laka would be a way to do that. Whatever we got from him, we could have picked up a player, and maybe Aubameyang plays in the middle, maybe Eddie plays there, whatever. I think we could have done. I mean, it used to be hold up play for Laka in the middle. I don't see much of that today. I haven't seen much of that in a while. So for me to say that that's one of the reasons why he's out there, I'm finding that hard to. I'm finding it hard to take that as okay. That's one reason why we want him out there. It's because of his hold up play, because he hasn't been doing it consistently or well. He's a striker, so if he's a striker, then he should be putting the ball on goal. He's not doing that.
The chances he's been given, he's just not.
He's
not finishing his dinner at all.
Yeah.
He's leaving the dinner to the rest of the team and saying, "Listen here, why don't you guys try your luck?"
The ref went over to the monitor. The ref went over to the monitor to check his KFC orders for him and the linesman. Gary. Gary, we at this channel have said we shouldn't get too attached to our players. They should be all saleable assets at any point in time. Is Arteta too attached to some of these players?
It's hard to see. It's hard to tell because I was yes and no, right? A couple of players are gone from the team. Players that some that we thought would be good for, the Guendouzi and Torreira could have positions on our team, right? He let them go, and then there's other players that we've kept on, and it's like, I feel like he doesn't want to. Like I said, I always know he doesn't want to change too much, right? And when he does change, he wants to hold on to it for a little bit. So maybe the growing pains are gonna show, right? So if we're going to whatever scheme we're going to now, and it doesn't seem like it's working, I think if he feels like he's seeing improvements, then I think he's not going to change it. I'm not sure if this score line means depending on what his mindset is, I'm not sure if this score line means much to him if he thinks he got what he wants out of his players and he believes that to be true, right? Yeah. I mean, you always hear it sometimes, coaches going, the players did what I wanted them to do, and then you're like, okay, well, they're doing it wrong, and he's like, yeah, they are, and that's what we're working on, right? So maybe that's the case.
Laka isn't good enough for Arsenal. Let alone isn't good enough for Villa. Forget Arsenal. Tony, what do you want to say about Lacazette at this point, Tony?
I still think he started off the season good. He had 3 goals in 3 games. Then he gets benched for 2 or 3 games. It's kind of hard to keep your consistency when you're not played consistently.
Yeah. That's a good point, and I think Arteta. I think the commentator said something, Tony, that. It's the most changed squad week after week. They've changed the squad 18 times in the Premier League.
Chelsea was 16 times or 18 times, I think.
Yeah, and Chelsea have done something similar, but they've obviously had a stop-start season as well. So maybe it's not the best thing. I still want Arteta to get the summer to implement his final pieces of this puzzle and finally get rid of the deadwood. I think next season is when we need to see if the plan is working. There's a lot to be said about that, Mahir, that, we need a few more windows yet. Arteta needs a few more windows. And we're building from the base up. But I think we found out at this point in time that we can't play forward the back. Gary smiles.
I've really been asking. I really honestly believe that Arteta wants a 4 at the back or needs a 4 at the back. But just those missing pieces of the puzzle, like, for example, when you see Rob Holding isn't working out, like today, I think it would have been a good time to put like David Luiz in the squad to have some stability somehow. And the Saliba situation. I mean, guys, he might go out on loan again in the summer, which is like 2 months away, 3 months away, January. Like I said, he's not an upgrade on Giroud. Now, Stan, look, Giroud is scoring a lot of goals for us, actually, if I'm honest with you. Like I said, maybe a better striker, but like since a long time ago, he's not been able to get any consistency because Arteta wasn't using him. Like he scores 3 in 3, and as Gary said, as Tony said, scores 3 in 3 and then gets put on the bench. Same thing with Pepe. No run of games. One day he's gonna be in the starting squad. Next minute, it's back to Willian, and Willian is not working out. Pepe is coming off the bench. We could have had Pepe on the right hand side today. We could have had Aubameyang up front and Saka on the left hand side. And you telling me that wouldn't have made a massive difference in what we saw today? No disrespect to Villa, but yeah.
Something is not right. I mean, I keep advocating for Joe Willock to come into the squad, and I think that's got to happen soon.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some comments that they would be surprised if Willock is put into the squad, much less on the bench. And I don't know when that changed. What is that light bulb that goes on that says, all right, now is the time to make a change, right? Is it today's loss? Is it a loss? Is it a loss later on in the season? Like, if this is not a big call that what you're doing isn't working, then you need to change that. And I think today, like Stan said in the chat, it doesn't matter what Arteta was doing. 11 players came out today, and they did not play like a team. I mean, not the way we wanted. I mean, it was lacking a lot of continuity between the players.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the one thing about like when you looked at it, one thing about Giroud was he reminds me of what El Neni is, right? We know what he can give us, right? As long as you put him in those situations, you know what you're going to get from him. I mean, he's on the bench. We're down a goal. He comes in and we score 2 goals in like the last 10 minutes of a game. You know what you're going to get from him. Get the ball in the air. He'll get to it. He'll put a foot on it. He'll put his head on it. You just do that, and you'll be fine. That's what you get from Giroud. That's the good Giroud that we would get. As a starter, I'm not sure about that. But when he came off the bench for us, we knew exactly what we were going to get. Teams knew what was going to happen, and it didn't matter. That's a sign to me that you know what's going on. It doesn't really matter if they know what you're going to do if they can't stop it. Right now, teams, we don't know what we're doing. Teams just sit back and wait for us to figure out what we're going to do, and it never happens, right?
And we don't know what we're doing. In the 70th minute, we get twisted up by the Watkins goal. This might sound like sour grapes, but I always have a problem with the first phase offside. This annoys me a little bit. You have a play that goes to a different player, but Ollie Watkins is in an offside position in the center of the goal. He's already got a yard or two on the cross, and Tierney's not able to get back in position. So this annoys me. Whether it would have been a goal or not, it's something that has annoyed me, and I'm not going to go on about it, but it is something that needs to be looked at as well. What do you think, Gary?
No, definitely. I mean, like I said, they're using VAR incorrectly. That's at least my initial thought. I mean, the referees are out there to make those calls. If the person scores or what, they can correct it. But they need to be able to make, especially the clear ones. I mean, I understand, like, if you don't think that they're offsides, but we're looking at situations where there is a lot, like, usually the players are right next to each other and you really can't tell. But these are, like, players out in the open. Two of them were behind the defense when that pass was made. I believe that's the play I'm thinking of. And nothing, the flag never, like, that one, the flag should go up. I mean, maybe the referee was out of position, and that's why they didn't put the flag up. But that means there's a problem with the referee, in which we know that is the problem, is that the referees just aren't as good as we want them to be. So if you're not in the right position, you don't make the call. So now they get a freebie, at our goal, or they do think it's offsides and they let it go, and then as soon as something good or bad happens, they put the flag up. So you kind of it's messing with the type of game that you have.
The other thing as well, when they allow these things to progress, is that if a player could actually get injured, if the play is allowed to continue, a player could get injured, and you're not helping the team. That the
A
foul
player
should
was
be
injured, right? A player was injured.
in Van Dijk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the flag goes up, it doesn't. The play dies. I don't think Pickford goes for that ball if it's offsides and he hears the whistle. The flag goes up.
And then the third goal, Tony, we're all at sea. The third goal. Rob Holding is, for some reason, he's trying to hold the line for offside. He's not in sync with Gabriel at that point in time. He's holding the line. The ball slipped in by Grealish, and Ollie Watkins has got an easy job. And Gabriel is hung out to dry.
Yeah, I think Holding.
Yeah. How many times has Gabriel had that happen to him?
Yes.
He's always sitting there, and somebody is screaming at him, and it's like, I don't understand what should have happened there perfectly, but I believe if Holding would have stepped towards Ollie, he would have had to make a move to the outside. Yep. But he didn't. He just kind of ran with him and then ran back towards Gabriel. And then for some reason, he wanted Gabriel to come up for whatever reason. And it's like, well, but you're the closest one there. I think Bellerin is running. I don't know why he doesn't at least take him out before he gets close to the box. Yeah. We've seen him do silly things before. That would have been an easy one. It wasn't like, I don't think he would have got a red because I think we had defenders right there. But at that point in the game, you got to be cynical with your foul and go, oops, sorry, Yeah. Just keep this game close. I mean,
so like you said, Gary, we end up all at sea. It could have been, we could have scored a few goals, but they could have scored more than the 3.
Yeah, they could have scored 6 or 7.
Well, you say that, but you got to remember, well, if we score, then maybe they don't, right? Maybe they don't. Maybe we play a better defense because we have something to lose now, right? We had a.
I find that hard to get my head around, that we were beaten by the better team, as Alex is just.
Oh no! I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, the mentality of most players is that if I have a lead, I'm going to hold on to that lead.
Yeah.
But if I'm losing and now you're piling on, it's hard for me to get up again, right? Mm-hmm. We saw that with Liverpool. They won the league. It was over. Every game they played after they had pretty much sealed it did not look like the team we expected them to see, right? Mm-hmm. Mentally, they were not in it like they were for those first 30-plus games.
As Alex said, there has to be household change from the top all the way down to the bottom. But are you talking, Alex, season on season, when the windows come, when January comes, when summer comes? Or are you talking about in-season changes? Because there are certain things that can be done in season, such as bringing Joe Willock in and things like that. And I know you have to go soon, Gary.
All right. So I want to say thank you for everyone for being in the chats and listening to us. We've got 2 weeks to, I guess, enjoy some international football if you want.
Or enjoy the international football, everyone.
You can do some yoga and maybe kind of figure out, if you can get back your whatever they call it that we need to feel relaxed and ready to go for the next one. So
meditate. Get into yoga. Our next podcast will be yoga, so join us then. No, just joking.
All right.
See you guys.
See you guys next time.
Thank you later.
Yep.
We'll talk to you later. Tony and I will close it out. We're going to find out who out of this shit show match is our man in the match, Tony.
In the first half, I give it to Party because I thought he was playing a lot better than everybody else. But with a bunch of 4s and 5s, it's hard to find the best player. It'd have to be Gabriel for me. He's probably a 6.5 or something like that.
We have to talk about this because Gabriel has rightly won a lot of man in the matches for his performances, and he's got those man in the matches with us just winning 4 games, away to Manchester United, away to Fulham, and at home to Sheffield United and West Ham. But he's put in some good performances and losses. When are we going to have a man in the match that's one of our forward players that lights it up?
It doesn't seem like it's that happen. There are no goals in this team for whatever reason.
Yeah, there are no goals in this team. That's for sure. So that's the Tony Don Juan man of the match is Gabriel once again. It's becoming a pattern that we want to break. You know.
I want to give it to somebody else, but nobody else is willing to take it.
Hey, Raging Demon, thanks for joining us. Why go on, boys? Sorry he's late. You didn't miss anything, just a shit show about Arsenal losing 3-0. You know, things have to change. We as fans can see this on the field, Tony.
Yeah, we can see things aren't working. Like I said earlier, Arteta has to see Willian isn't working. Why doesn't it take him 5 or 6 weeks to change it? But he still hasn't really changed the bench team. Got to be trying Pepe out, see what works, and because you see what doesn't work.
Big up Arsenio. I didn't connect the Raging Demon, so I'm glad you said that to us. It's just frustrating, Tony. Like you said, we as fans can see what's going on. Why can't Mikel Arteta see that? There's too much loyalty going on to these players every Sunday. The same lineup, you know, that's okay. You can start with Willian and think that he's going to do something. But when it gets to halftime and he hasn't done anything, then you need to make changes. You don't wait till the 62nd minute. Actually, at my notes, they come on in the 65th minute. In the 62nd minute, I was like, I want subs now. Those are my notes, Tony.
Yeah, he's been crappy on subs. There's only a few games this season that I thought he did all right on the subs, but now he's back to being bad at man management and making the subs he needs to make.
I want to echo what Gundam News said here, Matt here. So check him out as well. He's got his own YouTube channel. He just dropped a video about the Manchester United win a couple of days ago. Get a good night's rest, everyone. Love and appreciate you all for joining us tonight. Really do. Arsenio is vexed. How did we lose to Villa? We're gonna have to start realizing these teams that are outworking us, Tony. Some of them are better than us, and we don't know what our level is right now. We're hoping it's top four, but I can't see that right now. I gotta say.
Yeah, to me, it seems like a good center right now. It doesn't seem like we can make a top four challenge or even top six to get into Europa. Just not good enough performances right now.
Stan said, if you're okay with having a manager who's never done the job before, then you also have to accept that there will be days like this. Very true, very true. What we need to see as well, Stan, is the manager actually recognizing the team is not working and taking steps to make it work. You know, I keep harping on about a few players who have been playing on Thursday nights are not getting their starts on Sundays. And if you're impressing in the second team, you have to get into the first team. Darren, take your time and come back. You'll be back on Twitter during the week. We need our young players from the academy. Bring them in. Gunded, it was embarrassing how many times we've seen this crap show from Arsenal. And Stan said he's right. We have to accept there will be days like this as well. The assembled fluidity is the key word here. Inflexible and rigid systems are 4 words we don't need. We've been saying this since the start of the season. No top 4. Doesn't look good right now, Alex, does it? Arteta has to dominate these pussycat teams. Improve. He's not adaptable, and that's the real problem with Mikel Arteta right now, Tony, is that he's shown that he has not got the propensity to adapt and to play around with different players.
Yeah, that's been my critique of him all season. He's been really rigid. No variation in his tactics, no variation of the players trying it out. He can see what's not working. He just keeps on holding on to the same thing and refuses to experiment and see what does work.
Okay, so we're going to spend a few more minutes. We're going to just get off of Arsenal now, and we're going to talk about the Premier League. and we're going to go through the Premier League review of what happened, and it makes for very depressing reading, right, Tony?
Yep.
So, one good thing that happened on the weekend was Leicester City winning. And you know what that did? It pushed Tottenham off of the top spot, and Tottenham are down into second place. But with Arsenal not playing very well, we're languishing in, I think, 11th place right now. Yeah, we're in 11th place. So Leicester City once again get the 1-0 win. Handball, one of those situations where the referee has to give it. The ball's played into the box, it hits the guy's arm, the Wolves player's arm, and Jamie Vardy actually scored a penalty. Surprise, surprise. He would later go on to miss the penalty as well, Tony.
Yeah, imagine that.
So, in a very, very strange season, we're looking at Arsenal. We're 6 points off the top. If we can only fix up a little bit, it would be reasonable. But very, very disappointed. That's what makes this result even more galling for me. We could have been up into 6th place. Instead, Aston Villa have pushed up into 6th place. Tottenham sort of got very lucky and got that 1-0 win in the end against West Brom.
Yeah, this is lucky at win.
Stan said, no point playing Aubameyang through the middle if he has to play as a false 8. Yeah, there's absolutely no supply, no creativity, Stan, going to Aubameyang. It's frustrating. I think many people have highlighted it's not Aubameyang's fault. I think Gary said that as well. It's not Aubameyang's fault. He's not getting the service, and that's it. Arsenio said Spurs giving it the large earlier was hilarious. And we have to also, I was looking at what their games coming up, but they have to play Manchester City, Chelsea, and some other really big team called Arsenal as well. Tony, they'll be facing us in about 3 games from now. We'll be playing with North London Derby.
Yeah,
We played Ozil as a false sub. Olympiacos keeps bringing back to my mind, boring Arsenal had more about them than this squad of players. You can't disagree. I can't disagree with what the Assemble is saying.
Nope.
Listen, as shit as Arsenal was today, I hope we are helping everyone get over what happened with a little bit of podcast therapy. Hit the likes if you think it's helping for you, if we're helping. Even if you think we're not helping live or watching on playback, hit the likes. Really, really appreciate it.
Our Stan counts the same. And Stan says a thumb down counts the same.
Lumbercamp said we are making top 4, literally no chance. I hate when they give us hope. Exactly right. And Spurs are getting top 4. I would put money on it. They have, I know I'd like to shake my head as well, Tony. They have a decent defense, a hard-working midfield, and they've got players up front who are going to make some bit of difference,
Well, they have Jose. Players
They have Jose. We did better with the Nielsen, Shamak, Bentner than what we are doing now. Liverpool, as predicted on Thursday night, I thought they would get a draw. 1-1 with Manchester City. Kevin De Bruyne will be kicking himself. He didn't convert that penalty as well from another one of those penalty incidents, Tony, where the ball hits the arm of the player. That's going to happen to Arsenal. How will you feel about that when it does happen to Arsenal? Everybody knows you got to keep your arms to your body, right?
Yeah, it seems like we don't get those calls. I don't know why the players are having their arms that far out. It's obviously a penalty.
Southampton are top 4. Big up Southampton for winning 2-0 on Friday against Newcastle. Hassan Hoodle has turned that team around from last season. Chelsea, it's funny that the two of us are left on this podcast now, Tony, because Sam will know. I think Sam's still watching, hopefully. And Gary, we did. Actually, you sat on the fence. It was Alonso and me that said that Sheffield United could possibly cause an upset against Chelsea. Well, they did score an early goal, but it was downhill from there on in. Stan said, we're stuck with William. I heard he has a clause to play a certain amount of games in the contract. And that is ridiculous if that's the case. Let's get them all played and get them off. Aston Villa beat us. They're up to 6th. Everton lost to Manchester United. Ole is still in a job. Crystal Palace beat Leeds quite comprehensively. I think we're playing Leeds when we come back in 2 weeks.
We'll lose. Always lose.
Yeah, it's the hope, isn't it? It's the hope. They give us hope, like Lombard Camp said. We're playing Leeds. They were beaten 4-1 by Crystal Palace. But we're going to give them gifts. It's not even Christmas. And we're going to be handing out gifts when we visit Leeds. And that West Ham, got to shout out West Ham. They played quite a dour game with Fulham and got themselves the win in the end. Unfortunately, Lookman tried the crazy penalty kick. Did you see that one?
No.
That penalty kick where they run up and they just literally chip it into down the center of the goal?
Yeah.
Well, he totally messed that up, Lookman. And when you're struggling, as I see Fulham around 4 points, they're not in the drop zone right now. When you're struggling as a team like that, you need to be decisive when you get a penalty kick. William will be the biggest leech once Mustafi, Socrates, Kolasinac, Ozil leave. The guy offers little to nothing. Okay, so listen, very depressing. Arsenal's in 11th place. We will play Leeds when we come back. Leeds are on 10 points. They're 2 points behind us in terms of, but they're 4 places back. A team that we could actually do something against, but I wouldn't feel that confidence talking about it right now. Maybe in a week or two, I'll feel a little bit more happy about this. So we're going to leave it there. I want to thank everyone for watching, for being with us today, and hopefully you enjoyed the podcast. It's not easy to get up for being beaten 3-0. How would you feel about coming on the podcast, Tony?
That's complete.
3-0, this is a shit show. And that's it. Until next time, we're going to leave it there. Arsenal have been beaten 3-0 in a very, very insipid display. Stephen Denham, thanks for your continued support. Thanks for everyone watching. Arsenal were beaten in a very lethargic, insipid display. I hope you all come back when we're podcasting next time. We might take a break next weekend, and we will see you the following weekend after that. Until then, I hope everyone stays safe out there, and I want to say thanks for watching to everybody, and thanks for joining us on a Sunday night after what has been a very, very disappointing result for Arsenal. Just going to close it out with this thought. We can see it. Mikel Arteta's got to see it. He's got to start opening things up, because we start losing like this, Tony, it's going to get really, really bad. And, we look around, we all go. We're all going to look at our social media a little bit later. It's not going to be pleasant viewing, right, Tony?
Nope.
Peace out. Stay safe, everyone. Thanks, Arsenio, for joining us as well. Until next time, come on, you Gunners, up the Arsenal. A very, very disappointing 3-0 defeat. Yeah, a very boring game. It's making Tony yawn. And, it's going to be a long and winding road, but hopefully we'll get there in the end. Arteta needs to fix up. Talk to you guys soon. We're out of here. Thanks for watching.